Campbell, and I'm an artist. Fairly new to being an artist. Probably the last 10 to 15 years been painting, primarily painting. I do a few other bits and pieces as well, but painting is what I consider my main occupation. Oil, I've always painted in oil. I haven't really tried any other mediums. I just stumbled into oil because of my grandfather gave me a set when I was sort of late teens, and I just fell in love with it. And then a lot of the artists that I began to admire were oil painters, so it was just a natural progression into oil painting, and it's such a versatile medium. I just find it so good for outdoor work and also for indoor work. Work I'm working at the moment is a series of sky and cloud studies. Some of them are bigger than studies, I suppose, but it sort of came about with the way I tend to work, which is I like to take sections of something, whether it's the landscape, whether it's a side of a ship. In particular, in this case, it's skies, and as we all know, it's a vast area of the sky. But just isolating small pockets of it is giving me a bit of a challenge to try and paint, and letting me try and explore different ways of composition and also different motives with the sky. Trying to cross over into the abstract. I don't know why. I don't know. I admire abstract work. I admire traditional work. I've been painting traditionally for a long time, but something inside me really wants to maybe take it to another level, and this set of paintings is a bit of an attempt to try and do that. Why it's the sky, I think it's just carrying over from my love of landscape, and it just happens to lend itself nicely to trying to paint in a more abstract way. Now, in saying that, it's sort of abstract, but someone actually described it as traditional and contemporary in the same vein, so I sort of took that as a compliment. My work, I don't look for anything too significant from a message point of view or political statement or anything like that. I'm thoroughly motivated by the visual aesthetics. Now, those visual aesthetics can be, as you can see, a sky, but it could also be a piece of rust. It could be a junkyard, it could be the side of a ship, it could be a rock shelf or platform. It doesn't need to be the quintessential pretty subject, but there's beauty in everything if you look hard enough. I place a lot of emphasis on plein air painting, and it affects my work enormously, or I hope it does. I hope it really helps me bring something to the studio that I couldn't get if I was just working from photographs or some other reference. I do a lot of plein air painting, but I don't do it with a view to making it my sole way of working. I use it, practice is probably not the right word, but I use it for practice. I use it for getting my eye in. I use it for a socially, because we go out painting in groups, and I love it. I also paint by myself, plein air, which is nice sometimes because of the solitude. But then what I do is bring that information back here to the studio, and I get a feeling of light and air, and I'm hoping some of that comes through in my studio work. It probably does with mixed results. Yeah, how I started into painting, I had a bit of a family history of artists in the family. My uncle was an excellent commercial artist, my auntie's a terrific watercolourist, my grandfather did some terrific paintings, and he was the one that sort of encouraged me to start painting at an early age, and like most people probably dabbled in it on and off, and then went into the wilderness for a while, and I was actually in Nepal one year on a trekking trip on the top of some mountain, and I had an epiphany. I thought, when I get back to Sydney, I'm going to get painting again, and that's what I did. By then I'd become familiar with a few local artists, and I was also drawn to the work of Elliot Gruner and Arthur Street, and I think that type of work got my interest initially. And then from there I discovered the likes of Warwick Fuller, who my parents owned a painting of, and I admired that painting a lot, and I tracked him down and probably annoyed the hell out of him. And he had just released his first DVD, so I got hold of that and I lapped it up, and through that I started to find out about various workshops with John Wilson and Casey Surley, and they really gave me a thorough grounding in landscape work. Painting with the Plein Air Artist Group is probably one of the things I really look forward to throughout the coming year. It's a variety of artists of different calibre, I suppose, but that's irrelevant, I believe, in the group, and the group is one that offers terrific camaraderie and support, but it's also great fun. We work fairly isolated in our studios or out in the field, and to be able to meet with the guys a couple of times a year and paint it's just terrific fun. You know, we get a lot of work done, but we also discuss the various issues and challenges of plein air painting or art in general, the market, all those sorts of things thrown around. But the cooking's terrific, the wine's good, the views are always good. It's just great. We're very lucky to be in this group and have the opportunity to be in the group. I feel very fortunate to be in it. So. This is what I do when I'm not painting. It's, I suppose, my form of getting away from it, and it just lets me focus on pretty specific stuff. I've just always had a love of models and making things. I think painting's a solitary pursuit, and I like that part of painting, and this is also a solitary pursuit, even though there's guys that are doing it that I'm a member of a club with. I don't know, I suppose it fulfills some other need, and what that need is I'm not really sure, but it certainly fulfills it. So I just get away from it all when I'm doing this. So it's a real pleasure, and at the end of the day you get a beautiful model, well hopefully you get a beautiful model that will last a long time.